we're live.
We're supposed to clap?
That's something. So, Dale Jones. I'm Les.
Hey.
There you go. There you go. You know
Is the
something?
camera even facing?
What?
I didn't know if the camera is, if I was even on the.
Oh, you're in there.
Oh, I am?
I mean,
'Cause
I
it
don't
looks
know.
like it's pointing to the wall.
To the side there. It's getting.
This is
just
gonna be weird.
We do that. We like. I told him. I said, I want Dale in profile the whole to just one,
right.
one side of his face.
We're going to do like either two-face?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well,
That would be fun to do this sometime and just black out our eyes and shit like that.
that'd be very cool.
And not even say nothing about it.
Right.
Just leave it that way.
Or just do it like at the old America's Most Wanted and
Yeah.
just buzz the whole thing. And when our first quarter comes, like you're in witness protection or something.
Exactly. And hey, by the way, you do a bit about double knotting your shoes, but you do double knot your shoes.
I do double knot my shoes. Yes, I do.
I do too.
It turns them into slippers.
Well, I don't know about you. I don't know how anybody else does it, but when I regular tie my shoes without a double knot, and motherfuckers are coming
Of course.
off. They're coming
Yes.
apart. I can't get through
Constantly.
an hour, and then I see people constantly retying their shoes. I go,
I'd be on stage, and then I would have to look down and go, oh, now I got to call my mother and get this tight. But I would be bouncing around like an idiot in my shoes. And I was like,
know.
oh, man.
you know what kills me is when you're walking with a shoelace untied, and people will stop you. A stranger will stop you.
You gonna fall down.
Yeah, like you're doing the most dangerous fucking thing in the world.
Right.
And yes. And I'm like, you know, you ain't gonna believe this, but I have never tripped on a shoelace. I never know anybody that's ever tripped on a shoelace. I know 5 people who have been emergency room trauma nurses for decades.
Oh, and okay.
They have never told me about a
Shoelace.
a shoelace incident, but people will look at it.
I have got them caught in my bicycle pedal, though, and it took me around and damn near took my leg off.
Yes.
So I've had that happen.
That
but
makes
I've never tripped.
That one makes sense.
I thought that story was going totally different. I know 5 trauma nurses that have seen death after death after death
From shoelace
but it's
incidents.
never happened to me.
Well, you know, my buddy, who's one of my good friends, Dave, about the time we're all the same age, about the time we got in our 50s, which is where you're at.
Yeah, 54, yeah.
Somewhere around there, Dave, we were talking one time, just catching up, and he's up in Tennessee, and he was like, oh, by the way, I've been meaning to tell you this. Don't hit your head anymore. Well, he goes, look, man, I'm serious.
Not
I'm
like
serious.
it's on your agenda.
Do not hit your head. Don't allow it. He goes, I cannot tell you how many people we get in a fucking emergency room that get up in the middle of the night, or they're bending over to tie their shoes or something just mundane, and they trip over something, or something, lose their balance,
Right.
bang their head, either hit the ground and fall backwards and hit the back of their head, which is what happened to Larry Miller.
Is that what happened to Bob Saget too? Did he hit his head?
I
Did
think
they ever
you're
figure
right.
that out?
I think that was a thing. Larry Miller fell off of just stepped off of a curb and and lost his balance and fell backwards at the back of his head, and it was devastating.
Right.
But he said seriously, it's like when he said, and they come in there, and he said, if you're over 50 and you have a really hard hit to the head,
Right.
you ain't gonna be right. I mean, it's like most people don't come out of that like okay.
Right.
So he goes, no more ladders. No more,
My wife is adamant about that. I can't get on a ladder. I can't go on the roof. It's like I can't do anything fun anymore.
That's
the
what-
tree house is out.
yeah, oh yeah. That's my buddy was like, nah, fucking stop it. Just stop it, So yeah. So I try to pass up. That's the reason double knot my shoe.
Double knot your shoe so you don't hit your head.
I don't know if I can hit my head,
Hitting my head is part of my job.
I know.
So I wonder if they're going,
watch
hey,
it.
you might want to hit your head again. It might help.
Exactly.
So I get that though. Hitting head,
Trauma.
yeah, everything takes 3 years to heal now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the shower to see. It's about the week before Thanksgiving. And I was washing my hair, and I came down and hit one of them porcelain soap dishes that were sticking out at the hotel thing.
Yeah.
That sucker still hurts. Still. And I didn't realize it hurt till I started doing it. I did some push-ups, and I was like, hey, wow, that's there now.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
that's going to
forever.
take 4 years.
Yeah, at least.
So I don't know if I broke my elbow. I don't know what happened, but but it doesn't hurt any other time. It's just when I do push-ups. So I don't even know what it's catching.
You know what fucking kills me, and this started happening after I turned 60, is that you wear a pair of shorts and you just walk through the yard, and then I look down and fucking blood's running down my leg, and I'm like, I fucking hit something in a way that it has gashed open my leg to the point where it's bleeding, and I go, I didn't even know it. I didn't even feel it at all. I go, what the fuck?
I've seen that with my wife. She'll come in and something's running down her arm. I go, where'd that happen? I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. It's fucking cruel. I don't know. Maybe that's just God's way of just getting you ready.
You're ready by little just pokes
little
and prods.
yeah. Death by 1,000 nicks. Just had less die. He lost a lot of blood.
I do.
He didn't
right.
know. He didn't know. He didn't even know.
2 spots on the leg.
I know.
1 in the middle of your back. Didn't even have an idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
Scratched a pimple and it was horrible. Fuck it.
I get that walking through the yard and all of a sudden, yeah, exactly. I get bug bites. This right here. And no idea where that came from. It just started itching one day, and I scratched it. It's been a scar for about 2 months now. I don't know what happened. And I was indoors at a gig. I know I was.
Right.
I remember I was at a gig. And I came
Hey,
up
Jody.
and I was like,
Come on in. Jody's going to
my
sit
better
with us.
half.
Yes, Jodi White. When you get that mic, just talking to the side of it and just put it right up by your face, and, there you go. It's like a corn cob. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We were talking about as we're growing older, this shit you can't do anymore, and in fact you walk through a fucking yard and your legs bleeding and you don't even know what the fuck you nothing.
It happens to me all the time.
I know,
Not
me
him
too.
as much, but my skin is so thin. I'll bump into something and have blood running down my arm, and the kids are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I didn't even know I did."
I know. It happens to me all the time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking unbelievable. Where's a pill for that? I take my biotin. What the fuck?
To be honest, I'm into cutting, but I don't do it on me. I do it on her.
You cut.
Oh, okay.
You cut
That's what's
Jody.
happening.
You just cut her.
Right.
Just you got a
It
little
makes me
blade.
feel better.
Just every once
He's
in a
like
while.
Dusty Rhodes walking around with a little razor blade in his thing, going.
That's nice.
We'll
That's
just be in
nice.
bed at night, and I just feel better if I just cut her.
And she don't even know it.
She didn't know.
No, she
Then I
don't
go, baby, what happened?
Oh.
Wake up in the middle of the night in a pool of blood on your.
You must
on
have
your
been in the
pillow,
yard.
The Chihuahuas. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a Chihuahua that my mother called. I called my mom and I go, "How's everything going?" And she goes, "Chihuahuas are sleeping with us, and Bella keeps every time I wake up, she's staring at me, and it's freaking me out." She wakes up and this Chihuahua's just staring at me.
I just pulled up I was reading through my news feeds and, on the phone, it come up from everywhere. And they said, dog psychologists say, the headline was, what happens to your pet dog when they're licking you and you stop them? And it goes, it breaks their little heart.
What?
Yes, it breaks their little heart. And I go,
How they know that?
Well, that's exactly. And I'm going to say, fucking dog. It's a dog.
They're gonna
Sorry,
forget
your
in 2
heart's
seconds.
broken. I don't know. But no, you don't get to, because now they're going to say, let your dog lick. You mean, in other words, now I'm supposed to let this dog.
Till the skin is gone.
Yeah, just lick. Because we had a little Yorkie, and we ended up, my daughter took her over. And because she said it just calms her, it's been real good for her. But this dog will lick you all fucking day.
Ours
We
will
got
too.
one. We
Ours
got
will
one of
go
those.
till it hits artery and keep going.
Yeah.
No.
It just won't
And
stop.
like they both of the little Chihuahuas like to lick you on the lips, but this one takes its paws and opens your mouth so it can lick your teeth.
Yeah. So then you're like,
Tell me you don't let that happen twice.
He does. He does.
sometimes I do.
Because
Sometimes I do.
and
I don't
this is the
floss.
dog.
I'm not good at flossing. And
This is the dog he did not want.
oh, I hate it.
I brought this dog home. He didn't talk to me for 3 days.
We had a screaming
pissed.
fight on the phone.
And now this is his baby.
Well, it wouldn't leave me alone. You know how dogs are. They
yeah.
just wear you down.
Yeah.
And every time I turn around, he's like, hey.
Well, that's what happened with the Yorkie. My niece had gotten her, and she had 2 bigger dogs, and they weren't getting along.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, so we got to get rid of the Yorkie because this other dog going to kill her, I think, or whatever. So I just hear Pam on the phone with my niece Kristen, and I catch the gist of the conversation. And as soon as Pam hangs up, I go, we ain't keeping Kristen's Yorkie. That dog is not coming over here. We're not taking care of it. 2 days later,
You're taking care of it.
yeah, we are.
Yeah,
the
of course.
fucking dog's just there.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, that's how much the fucking king of his castle has.
Yeah, we were on the road, and that conversation ended with, get the fucking dog. And she goes, I'm not getting the fucking dog. Right, and then we didn't talk for a couple of days, and I was driving home, and there was an awkward moment in the conversation. She goes, I got the dog. And I go, I know you did. And then that little sucker wore me down
Well,
to nothing.
we did
and
too.
now I would fight a Doberman for that little.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, the same way with this little Yorkie. Well, Zayden, my grandson, was 4 at the time, and what won me over was he comes walking through the room holding that dog underneath its arms. You know, it's just dangling there.
Yeah.
You know, but he's holding her and just coming in the room with her. And that dog was just calm as it could be. It didn't nip at him. It did,
Right.
and had every right to.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't. I went, wow, that's pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
he's cool with the kid.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I think
but
I like
then
it
my daughter
because
took
I
her.
finally found something that was dumber than me. So,
Chihuahuas, I don't know. I've never been a big. My sister had a Chihuahua. I don't know.
they aren't.
They're a
These
little-
aren't like what I remember as a kid, where they're coming at you with like a.
Oh yeah, they go
like
crazy.
like a little shark.
I know.
I mean, they don't really. When the neighbor comes over, they freak out, but then they chill out. You know, Bailey, the one that I didn't want. I mean, that dog is so late, but she'll follow us in the garage, and we'll shut the door, and then we'll hear her whine or something like an hour later, and we'll open the door, and she'll just come out with her tail wagging like, hey, guys, remember that time you locked me in the garage? I mean, so laid back.
Yeah.
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 And she'll sleep with Dale till noon. Like, you have to reach down and move her to make sure she's still alive.
She sleeps like I do,
Well,
just dead.
That's
Yeah.
the way this little dog was. That I said, this dog is a lot like a cat. You know, like cats, they'll just do nothing for hours and hours, and they just lay the fuck around. It's like, most dogs, you feel like you got to play with them, you got to take them out for walks, you got to run them. These fucking dogs are the same thing. It's like sleeps, 14
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that though.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
they're
good
little
pet.
lap puppies, and they want to cuddle you and give you kisses. I mean, they're just super little lovers. They're
Right.
not little.
But Bella never sleeps. The other one, that's more like her. She's just wide awake half the night, just sitting there. That's why when Mom rolls over, she sees his dog staring at her. Just
Well, ours would jump in bed with me and Pam, and then get in bed with you, and then the next morning you'd wake up, and it's like, where's the fucking dog? And the dog is down underneath the covers, and
Right.
we've rolled around and stuff, and it's like, I cannot believe we have not killed this fucking dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
do.
They find a pocket.
Yeah.
to be able
We
to
get in bed
breathe.
at night, we lift up the covers, and they shoot in. Yeah. And when the little one, we woke up a couple of nights because she had slipped off the end of the bed and was between the comforter and the bed frame. And she's just down there.
yeah.
We're like, God damn it. Yeah.
And then she's like, hey, guys, remember that time I almost died at the foot of the bed? Totally chill.
Yeah.
Oh, but I always like mutts because growing up, my especially I know my uncle, he was a big hunter, and he always had these pure breed, dogs, and they never lived more than they would die of the craziest diseases and shit. The more pure breed it was, the quicker that son of a bitch would get cancer or something. and you get a fucking pound fucking puppy and throw it out in the middle of the interstate, and
Right.
it'll be a 10-car pileup before anybody hits that dog.
Right.
You know, they live forever.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always been being a proponent of those kind of dogs. I like that. You know.
They'll do your eulogy.
Yes. One year.
Dog will be at the funeral carrying your casket.
One year we were going to get Taylor, my daughter. She was 5, and we were going to get a puppy and surprise her for Christmas, right? So I start looking for a little dog. You know, I want to kind of a little, you know, not tiny,
Yeah.
but, you know, something not over 20 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, well, we had a mutt growing up that was fucking awesome. It was half beagle, half dachshund. I called
Nice.
it a deagle. A deagle.
A deagle.
A deagle.
Okay.
So, or you can call it a boxing. A boxing or a deagle.
Boxing.
I like
a
it.
boxing or a deagle. So anyway, and this dog was fucking fabulous. I mean, just fabulous. Climbed trees. Was a tree climber. Could climb anything. That motherfucker could climb anything. I mean, literally, you would hear, her name was Charmin, because she was soft. Her name was toilet paper. We had toilet paper. And literally, you would hear this dog, and we go out, and there was a few trees near our house that, like, you go up about maybe 5 feet and there's a fork.
Yeah.
And then you go up 5 feet and there's a fork. And you go up 5 feet and there's a fork. Well, she would get to fork to fork to fork chasing a squirrel. And then she'd get up there and you'd hear her barking, and like a cat.
Yeah.
You go up there and you go, she's up, 30 feet in the fucking tree.
Wow.
And can't get down,
Aw.
right? So you have to get her down. And then you try to pin her up, and she'd get out no matter what the fuck.
Yeah.
And we never could figure out. We knew she was getting over the fence. She was just getting over that fence somehow. And then my uncle, who had the hunting dogs, had this pin, right, that had a fence that was about 10 feet high, and then had chicken wire on the top facing in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this way. So we put her in there, and next thing we know, she's at the back fucking door.
What? Well, she's going under.
That's what we thought. She's going under. So we put her in there, and we all hid over here to watch her. That motherfucker climbed up the thing, 4 legs, got up onto the chicken wire, held on by 2 legs, and lets her back legs go and starts swinging.
No way.
Yes. Starts swinging and swings her legs like a fucking commando over the top of that thing and comes back down. That's the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Oh my
Fucking
God.
fence climbing ass dog.
Should have called.
Aren't you like sad that you don't have video of that? You could have won $1 million on like
Yeah,
America's
now
videos, right?
Exactly right. So I thought, let's find a Dachshund Beagle mix. That was such a cool thing.
Yeah.
So I start looking around, and I didn't find anything. And I come to find out when you call a shelter and you're looking for a small mutt dog, they're the first to go. They're hard to get. People snap those up really fast.
Okay.
So then I put search in newspapers all over the state of Florida. Ocala, Florida, Dachshund Beagles.
Oh.
Dachshund Beagles. And I go, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I call the lady up.
Did you say Deagle?
I said, yes.
Did you say Deagle?
I
Did she
I
know
think
what you meant?
I think I did say
Y'all
something
got
like
Deagle?
that to lie. She goes, yeah, we got Dachshund Beagles. Yeah. I said, that's great. I said, is the mother I think she called them not Deagles. I think she called them Boxons or something like that.
Yeah.
I said, is the mother a Dachshund or a Beagle? She goes, it's a Boxon. It's a Boxon. What's the father? It's a Boxon.
Oh, so
I go, how long does this crossbreeding go back? She goes, I said, no, man. This could be a Frankenstein. Fucking, this might be.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want 6 generations of Dachshund Beagle cross mixing. I don't know what the fuck might happen. All of a sudden, that mates with a Rottweiler and Cujo, and I don't know. It
Yeah.
could be bad news. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, our sweet Hannah, my daughter,
Who's sitting over there?
who's sitting over there, had she'd moved. She lives here in Sarasota.
I know.
She's a hairdresser.
No.
She had moved to Atlanta. She lived with us, And of course, I was as happy as could be. And then she decided she was coming back to Sarasota.
Because she's got a brain.
And I was heartbroken.
She goes, it's fucking cold and gray up here, guys.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? There's no beach.
Yeah.
It's cold.
So I was heartbroken, and I was like, I need a new baby to take care of.
Oh.
And found the Chihuahua on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And so Hannah's sitting over there right now going, I was replaced by a small...
She was, and sometimes when I'm calling the dog, I call it Hannah, and sometimes when I'm referring to Hannah, I call it Bella. So they're kind of interchangeable, the babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
So we had to go to Walmart at 11 o'clock at night and get this daggum dog that we contacted on Craigslist.
Oh, you met him in the parking lot at Walmart?
Yeah.
An hour and a half from our home.
And it was not a super Walmart. It was one of those that close. So the lights are going down.
So
We're
you're
by the
just-
interstate.
So you're just in a...
And I got $900 in my pocket.
And you're meeting...
And the lady keeps calling and going, hey, we're running late. We'll be there in a little bit. And I go, we're going to die.
Yeah.
We're going to die.
That's exactly
the interstate's right there.
Oh, yeah.
I told this one, I go, Jody, just get in the car because they're going to beat the snot out of me and you drive away.
That's exactly right.
And she
But
called two or
she-
three times. Finally showed up. And then
That's one of those...
And they park way across the parking lot. So I'm like, all right, this is set up. Why wouldn't they come here? And then they come walking in. It's a lady and a
her 8-year-old
8-year-old
daughter
holding the dog.
and they
But
got
I'm
this
in my head the whole time. Going, I'm
little
beat.
Chihuahua that's a 1.2 pounds wearing a sock that's got a couple of holes cut in it is a little sweater. Yeah.
I thought, Dale, you call her up and go, okay, lady, bring the dog over to the light post B.
Right. Leave it.
Leave it there in a towel.
Walk backwards.
I will walk backwards. I will leave the money by the trash can
Exactly.
at the garden center.
I'm going to slide a briefcase to you. You put the dog on a skateboard and push it my way.
The gun is loaded.
I'll shoot your 8-year-old. I don't care.
I don't care.
I am scared
I'm
to
not
death.
dying. I'm not dying.
I was really starting to freak out. I go, they're closing. Kids pushing the carts in.
Yeah, the
We
lights
are
in the
not gonna make
parking
it.
lot went out. But when she got out of the car with an 8-year-old child, we're like, oh, okay.
But the
we're
Walmart
okay.
was right next to the interstate. I was in my head going, they could rob us.
You
They'd be
know,
on the interstate in 2 minutes.
this reminds me of a totally unrelated story when you say that, but it's along that same thing. Pam and I were in Portland, Oregon with another couple. Not Portland, excuse me, Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine with another couple.
Yeah.
And so I walk into a tourist shop there that T-shirts and shit, and I'm the only guy in there. So I'm just looking at shit, and one guy behind the counter, he goes, "Hey man, do you know pot's legal here?" I went, "Did I ask a question?" Motherfucker just looked at me and decided he needs to know. He needs to know.
Hey, man.
Hey man, you know pot's legal here. I go, no, I didn't, but why the fuck? Just because I get old with a ponytail, I don't know. So I go outside and I told him the story. And at that time, this is fairly new into that.
Oh, that was the end of the conversation.
That was it.
He didn't even offer anything.
No.
Oh,
He
I
just-
thought this was like,
No, he
well,
just
check
wanted-
this out.
No, he just wanted me to fucking know.
Oh,
Okay.
No. So we go
Okay.
outside. So I go. So obviously I said they must have dispensaries here. I've never been in a pot dispensary before.
Yeah.
I was like, you want to go? So the other we're all like, Pam, they're all like, yeah, okay. So we Google search, and two come up, and literally one of them was like Bubba's, weed and seed or something. Something like that. And then the other one actually was like Mike's Smoke Shop or something.
Yeah.
I said,
Right.
Well, we're definitely going to call him Mike, know. But there was no address. It was just a number, right? So call up, and the guy answers. He goes, hey, this is Mike's Smoke Shop. I go, oh fuck, I got the owner. Hey, Mike. I said, the guy at the store, T-shirt store, told me that we could buy a pot here. Da da da. He goes, there's kind of a thing to that. He goes, it's legal to have pot, but you can't sell it. It's legal to have pot, but you
so
can't.
it's still a felony. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Getting trapped
So
in
I
that.
was like, well, you've got the smoke shop thing here. He goes, well, here's the thing. If you have a medical marijuana card from any other state in the country, I can sell it to you legally. But you got to have that. Do you? And I didn't. And I went, yeah, I do. I do have one.
But you didn't.
I didn't. He don't know that. But
We didn't want to see it?
I didn't want to buy pot. I just wanted to go see a dispensary.
Yeah.
So I go, where are you located? He goes, well, that's the other problem. he goes, I don't really have a location. I said, you don't have a location?
Well, you're just a dealer.
He goes, no. And I said, so wait a minute. You just told me you could sell me pot if I had a medical marijuana card. He goes, right. I said, how does that work? He goes, I'll just meet you somewhere. I go, meet me somewhere. I said, we just going to meet at Walmart in the parking lot? Like, we're just going to go, I'm in the red El Camino. You're in the pickup truck.
It's 1984.
We're going to go there. I said, are you shitting me? I said, here's what we're going to do, pal, Mike. I said, we're going to make some good money. I said, you and I are going to meet in the parking lot for you to sell me some pot, right? Okay? And we're going to beat the shit out of each other. And we're not going to hurt each other bad, but just enough to where I can sue the fucking state of Maine for putting me in this situation that their legislation decided to pass as a law.
He stayed on the phone for this whole spiel.
Yes.
You said we're going to beat the shit out of each other, and you didn't hear a dial tone immediately.
He's thinking about it. He was thinking it through. He's like, this fucking crazy redneck might be right. But isn't that the craziest fucking thing?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
You imagine the legislation going, all right, all legislation order. Today on the docket.
You can have it.
Legalization of marijuana.
So I just
What are we going to do? Well, you can buy it, but you got to
can't
meet
sell it.
somewhere. How does that sound? Good. And all eyes in favor. Yay. On the top. Okay,
I just got
that
this
passes.
picture of you two with blood all over each other, and then he looks at you and goes, I'm still going to need to see your card.
He never showed me his card.
He never
son.
showed me his card. Man, that guy can punch.
I know.
Tell about when you got your card. We were in Redondo. No, we were Venice Beach in California.
My son came out and he wanted some, but he couldn't get a medical marijuana card because he didn't live there. So I had to go get a medical marijuana card. But I don't smoke pot. I've never been a pot smoker.
Right.
Like,
You're just getting
let's
us so you
do
can
some
get a friend.
cocaine, but I never liked pot.
Right.
Like, just never my thing. So I go in and the doctor's like, so you have anxiety?
They're wearing doctor's coats.
They're wearing doctor's
Stand on
coats.
Venice Beach.
Oh, of course.
The green
I
doctor.
do a whole bit about this.
Yeah, but he takes me in, but this old dude is like in a wheelchair with a blanket on his lap. He looked like the old dude from Breaking Bad that rang the bell.
Yes.
On his thing. I was like,
Yes.
is that motherfucker? But he's like, you got anxiety? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, we could try a few things, but I feel like marijuana might help you. And I was like, that sounds good to me. That
There's
sounds...
a leaf on the door.
I was
Maybe that
so
would-
fucking nervous because I'm a rule follower. Like, I don't turn around in other people's driveways. I don't lie about having anxiety. I did have anxiety. It was stressing me the hell out. But
Well, that's my bit. My bit is that they didn't pass the recreational. They put it up and it didn't pass narrowly because it's got to be 60%. And I think
Yeah.
it's 57. And they'll put it up on the thing and it'll pass the next time.
Yeah.
But I go, it's no big deal because I tell the crowd, if you don't realize this, medical is recreational. And how I know that is, how hard is it to get a card? It's $250. That's how hard
Yeah.
it is because you meet the pot doc.
Yeah.
On a Zoom call. You can do it on a
Oh,
Zoom.
wow.
Oh, yeah. You can do it on a Zoom call. And the doc says, so, Miss White, why do you think it is that you need medical marijuana? And you go, well, I'm feeling some anxiety about this conversation right now. And that's making my leg hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, you had me at anxiety. You got $250? Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Okay, sold.
Yeah.
But that's what it is,
and then I had to go to the dispensary, and they're like, come on in, look around.
Yes.
Would you like to try some flour? I didn't know that's what the like stuff was called. I was like,
Oh, I would thought that was just flour.
Yeah,
No.
I did too. I didn't know that
They
was the
call it
term either.
flour.
Flour.
So that's the bud or whatever on the end.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this.
a few years ago, we went, we did the Grand Canyon rafting trip.
Yeah.
And so we were in Vegas, and that was the first time I walked into a store and just could buy pot like I bought fucking beer.
Yeah, crazy,
No
right?
problem. And then we went, that same year, we went to Alaska. We were up in Jersey, in New York. I mean, I went to 5 or 6 different states where I could just walk in somewhere and buy pot like you buy fucking a beer, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just, it was wild. It was wild, you know? And there's part of you that still, because from where we come, that still feels a little nervous about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, who's watching me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Right?
that's
It's
why I
hard
don't like
to believe.
pot. Because even when I was where, like, and I bought it legally, the second I got high, I'm like, the cops know. They're coming for you. And they're like, Jodi, it's legal. I'm like, I know, but they know and they're coming. Like, it just never felt.
We were in Spain, and a buddy of mine had moved to Barcelona. And so I got in touch with him, and I said, what's the pot thing over here? He goes, they have clubs. And he said, if you join the club, you can buy pot and smoke it at the club. He goes, now, technically, it's illegal to have it on you, you know, to transport. And I go, well, if you go to the club and you leave the club, aren't there just cops standing outside the club just to arrest you as soon as you leave the club because they know you got some in your pocket?
Yeah.
He goes, they don't give a fuck. He goes, as long as you're not doing it outside or
Yeah.
being flagrant with it, you just do that. You just go to the club and then take it home.
It's crazy.
There's
too many rules to
all
remember.
these weird
Yeah.
ways that are like, it's like they just, how do we figure out how everybody wants to legalize it because it's so much fucking money.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do we do it in such a way that the ultra conservative people that are pissed off about this, that we can do it in such a way that looks like we're trying to half-ass control it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they come up with all these weird fucking ways. But the fucking main one was broken.
I don't know
that
why
was
you.
the craziest one.
I don't know why
ever.
you picked Mike's. Why wouldn't you definitely like right out go for Bubba's?
I felt like,
I
you
would've
know,
went to Bubba's.
I don't know where we are. I mean, this is first. Let's go for the one that sounds a little more legit. I go,
Okay.
this is so not legit.
So at no point were you like, I bet Bubba doesn't meet in the parking lot.
Bubba, I guarantee you, Bubba,
He's
Bubba
on a
got-
boat dock.
you're going right to his garage.
He's on a boat
Yeah.
dock.
I
Bubba
bet
got
he-
a barn.
or is
I bet
the-
he's got a barn.
Bubba's got a barn.
He's got a
And
barn.
he lifts up the hood to his tractor.
Yep, there
And
it is.
there it is.
Right there. You go,
This
where's
weed
the
smells
pot?
like
He
gasoline.
goes, you see that tractor over there?
It's under the bush hog.
Just go over there.
They think I'm mowing. That's all weed under there. We got it caked in.
It's just crazy. We're all crazy. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This is a nice chat.
Oh,
It was a nice
thanks.
chat.
I learned a lot about drugs. I didn't think I would.
Well, there you go.
Appreciate it.
Learn something new every day. That's important.
Right.
Every day you want to be a little smarter than you were when you got up that morning. And
what we learned.
for
we
me,
learned.
for
we
me
learned-
and you, Dale, that's easy.
It is easy because this is the first thing I've learned today.
Right. I set the bar low.
And then I'll forget it, and tomorrow we can have the same
Hey,
conversation.
there you
I'll
go.
learn it again.
And I learned it again.
Somebody used to tell me when I was a kid, they told me I was like a duck. I woke up in a new world every day. I was told that when I was 16.
What a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful
That's
thing.
right. Look at my new girlfriend. Who I woke up with.
You've been married 13 years, Dale. Really? I'll be darned. She's gorgeous.
Seems like yesterday. That's right. All right, guys.
Okay, let's go do a
All
show.
right, let's go do a show.